Now, we are going to talk about object and the classes. So what is class? So class is just the type of object. So if you have the object, if you take the type of that object, that is what our class is. In Python, we create class using the class keyword. Like over here, if let's say that here we are getting a class of a person, we'll just have to say class as a keyword, then the class name, which is a person over here after colon, we're just saying pass. That means we have created a bare minimum class over here, right? Now this class does not do anything as of now, but again, it is the object of the type itself. So this class itself is the object of the type, right? So when we check the type of person, we'll say that it belongs to type. So the type of this person class is the type. That means this person class becomes the object of type, and this type itself is the object of type. This is kind of weird, but we'll discuss this in the meta programming, right? So the type class itself is the object of the type class, right? Now let's see, this class has a built-in attribute, right? Even though we have not defined any attribute in the person class, but these attributes inherit from the type class, because we know that person is the object of type class. Here is one of them. Let's say that here we have this name attribute. When we say person dot name, this will give you the name of the class, which is a person, right? Now these class are also callable, right? You can call these class just like a function, which will help you to create the instance of the class. Like over here, if you need to create the object or the instance of the person class, we have to give the name of the class, and then we have to use the parenthesis to call the class. So here we are using a class just like a function, and this will help you to create a object of the class, right? So here when we run the code, it's like we have created the p object of the class person. Now when you check the type of the object, you will get the person itself, right? Now these instances, so I'm talking about this p, these instances have built-in property, right, which we'll discuss later on. But one of the property is the class, which will give you the class of this object name. If you have the object, and then if you want to know what is the class name for the object, you can simply call. So type will help you to get the type, which is a class, but this will help you to get the class name as well. Here the same value we are getting, right? Now, in fact, we can also check whether this output and this output is same or not with the is operator. Both are true, right? We can also use is instance to test if the object is the instance of particular class or not. Like over here, we are using is instance p comma person. This means that we are testing whether this p is the object of person class or not. If it is, then this will give you true, otherwise this will give you false. This time, because the p is the object of person class, so we'll get true result over here. Here we are trying to check whether this p is the object of string class or not. It is not, so we'll get false, right? We can even use is instance with our class, right? Like over here, we are saying that whether is instance person, which is a person is the class name, and then we are checking that whether this person belongs to type class or not, as we have already discussed, right? Any class that you build in a Python, that will have the object, that is the object of the type class. So when you do this, we'll get true, right? Actually, type is the most generic kind of the object of the class object, right? And yeah, we can also check the how many other functionality we have available with that type. We can use this help of type function. Here we can get this, all the functionalities there. Can you see this? Here we have this. When we check help of type, we can see that there are two ways to create the object of the type, right? You see the method. So this call method gives you the call itself as a function. So remember when we had used this person, this person parenthesis to create a object. This was used because of, so when we call this person as a function, internally it has used this call method, right? Because of this call method, we were able to create the, or like call the class as a function. And there are a lot more we have over here. There are the other data descriptor we have. There are the other properties we have of that, right? We can even check the type is the type of is the the type is the object of type class or not. We already discussed that. Type is the object of itself. So when we check, we'll get true. But here, person is not the type. Person is not object of the person, right? This is there with the type function, but for any other function, this is not true. When we try to do this, we'll get false over here, right? So yeah, this is about the object and the classes, right? Thank you very much.